Welcome back to the ASUG News Studio. My name is Tom Whalegum. I am co-editorial director of asugnews.com. Delighted to have back with us in the ASUG broadcast studio, Elliott Garafalo.
Thanks, Tom.
Welcome back. It was great seeing you at SBOUC, and you're back here.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
We want to thank you first for your sponsorship. We hope you're getting a lot of it. We're having a lot of great guests in the studio, and we couldn't do it without you, so thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me back.
You are the SVP of SME at Optimal Solutions, and you're doing a ton of great work on mobility. And we were just over there. We just want to point out to people, if you're watching this here, get over to the ASUG Lounge and check out all the great things. Can you want to talk just a little bit about that first? Because there's some exciting things that people are seeing for the first time.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. We, in conjunction with SAP Waldorf, in the creation of some brand new applications, SAP apps for mobile devices, the first time anybody is seeing them outside of Waldorf is here at the show on Optimal iPads in the ASUG Mobility Center. So please come by, check them out. They're really, there's some unbelievable technology that's really being utilized to extend that SAP back-end system back out into a mobile device for mobile users. It's really neat stuff.
Absolutely. We were just checking it out actually before we came on. Now, Optimal's been doing a lot of great thought leadership in this spot. What are customers actually coming to you? What's like the, I know it's hard to generalize, but what's the state of the typical customer that's coming to you, and they've got probably a lot of ideas about mobility, but how do you guys start advising them?
Sure. When it comes to mobility, everybody wants to find a way to do it. The challenge is, how do I make it profitable for our organization to use mobility? How do I get an ROI from it? Where can I gain an efficiency to really do it?
Right.
And so what we start with is really, let's find a business case for where it makes sense within your organization to actually be able to take advantage of a mobile device where it's going to gain efficiencies, as opposed to just handing them a device and for cool stuff.
And the business case gets thrown out the window. It's like, hey, just take it.
Exactly. So that's really where we start, is where's the business case, where does it make sense, and how do you make money using mobility? That's the key.
Right. That's probably not, when you probably talk to, you're like, they probably think, what? We can do that? Or
we can make money with mobility?
We can make things more efficient? I mean...
Yes, absolutely. It's really being able to extend that back office SAP environment out to a mobile device. Think about being able to repair a field service technician who has a mobile device and can actually, from a 3D perspective, be able to see that part he needs to repair, and not have to carry all the online all the printed out documentation and manuals, and learn how to do it, and then write out the work order, and this work order is closed, all done on a mobile device. Being able to watch, how do I fix this, right there in front of them, close out the service order and move on to the next work order. And that's efficiency, and that's being able to create extra value-added time for that employee to do more things, to add more value to the organization. It's really neat stuff.
That must be an amazing look on someone's face when you can go from paper manuals and schematics to an iPad.
They don't believe it.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't.
They don't believe it, especially the technician that has to do it, who's lugging around this, a big old suitcase everywhere. He's going that has thousands of pages of printed out manuals, and warranty cards, and information on the customer that maybe he's servicing. Being able just to stream all of that into one device, a simple interface, right, that's automatically real-time touching your SAP back office system wherever it is.
That's the key, right?
That's the key.
Yeah, we can all have our fancy mobile devices, but if it's not connecting with the SAP back office, how critical? I mean, obviously it's critical, but how are you helping companies actually do that? Or what's the ways you're doing that?
Yeah, it's really the service offerings that we provide are one. We tend to look at it a little bit differently. You hear a lot about mobility, but a lot of it's industry agnostic, and it's here's how you do mobility. What we like to do is take it and look at it from an industry perspective, and where does it make sense for a metals and mining company to do mobility? Where does it make sense for a food and beverage organization to do mobility? And we like to make those business cases industry specific, so then we can really take advantage from a business process standpoint of how their SAP system's configured and extend that efficiency out to the device.
So do you find in the verticals, because I know you guys have a lot of specialties in certain verticals, that the demand for apps are for similar apps in certain verticals, or does it go across the spectrum?
You find some similar apps from a line of business perspective in those, such as HR,
Okay.
time and expense entry.
Sure.
We see similarities between those, but they all have their specialties within the processes that they run that do make them unique. So it isn't one size fits all. There is a customization there by industry and by business function. But the nice thing is we come with those pre-developed apps, so you're not starting from scratch.
Right.
It's more of just tweaking it to make sure it's fitting what you're trying to do, and it mirrors that efficiency you have in the back office.
Right. Customization can sometimes be a tricky word, but with apps, is it, hey, we can customize whatever we want? I mean,
Right,
in
yeah,
the SAP world,
yeah,
it's
in the SAP world, that's code change, right?
Right.
So we're not talking about that. It's really simple, what we should call configuration, simple tweaks to the way that the application is set up, from a way that displays on the device, the way it feeds data to and from the system. Those are the things that we tweak.
right. The next big topic here, you cannot be here and not talk about HANA, and I know you guys have invested a lot of money and resource in here. And correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the few firms in North America is certified.
That's correct. Yeah. So if you listen to Bill McDermott, it's HANA, 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 right?
Right.
That's everything. So yeah, we've made just enormous investments. We truly believe that this is where it's going to go. That HANA is a game changer for SAP. You look at all the challenges that we hear now from our clients. It really isn't so much around ERP process. Now the challenge is they've already implemented SAP, they're stable on SAP, they're realizing the benefits. The challenge is, man, I've got all this data, and this data has so many characteristics, and it's coming from all these different places. It takes me forever to get through it,
Right.
and how do I get to the raw data? And that's HANA is a game changer with regards to being able to do that. And so yeah, we invested a lot of time to get our consultants certified on the solution, our appliance certified on the solution, and now we're working towards building business use cases that we can take to those industries
Right.
on where is HANA applicable to them.
Have you seen some early results? Like, what would be a great business use case for a certain industry? If you could give us an example that you've seen.
Sure. One that was brought up to me last night with one of our clients, which I thought was unbelievably interesting, was in a call center. What if you had the ability to go through vast amounts of data quickly when a customer calls in, and being able to intelligently route the call to a specific call rep based on certain characteristics? For example, maybe this customer is diabetic. And so you have a call rep in your call center who specializes in those type of discussions. To have the ability to rapidly go through that data and understand and intelligently route that call is a great use case for how HANA can power that data.
Absolutely, yeah. So the things you pick up, networking, right?
Yeah, right? Absolutely.
Another thing we talked about is Optimal Solutions been growing a bit, some acquisitions. How is that going to fit together for the strategy for Optimal in the future?
Sure. For us, it's really continuing to enhance our portfolio to the clients. We're SAP centric. That's all we do is SAP. So for us, it's improving our portfolio as much as possible. And SAP has such a large suite of products that if you're going to be SAP centric, you better be good at all of them.
Sure.
And so what we've done is we've been very strategic in the acquisitions we've made. For example, the most recent one was a company called Glenture. An SAP partner, well-known company that specializes in BPC, business planning and consolidations of SAP. And we acquired them last year to bring them into the portfolio to round out our BA&T solution offering. And it's been extremely successful, and again, it just continues to enhance our portfolio and add value to our clients.
Right. So let's say we've got a ASUG member, SAP customer watching. What's your advice? First, let's start with mobility. Where do you start? Like, yes, we all want to do mobility, but what would be your one piece of advice to an ASUG member?
The first thing would be, what's the strategy for mobility? Meaning, device. What platform are you going to use? Because technology changes so fast. We're seeing it now and the only ones that can keep up with it seem to be my kids, who actually can keep up with the changes from a technology standpoint. So, don't get locked into a device. because it may not be there a year from now.
Right.
And here you go, you've rolled this out and you've lost a lot of money because you're going to have to redo it.
Right.
Again, strategy. What's the platform that's going to power that? And why are you doing mobility? Is it to go into emerging markets? To penetrate in places you haven't been? Is it new revenue lines you want to push efficiently out into your sales reps out in the field? What's the reason? You've got to have a business case that's going to sustain the ability to continue to do it.
Right.
And so once you have all that down, the easy part's SAP mobility.
Right.
The easy part's Sybase. That stuff's easy. It's getting the strategy down and the long-term plan for how you're going to sustain that mobility strategy moving forward.
What about HANA? What would be your advice there on that end?
Again, very similar. The advice there is HANA is unbelievable. Anybody that sees it, hears what it's capable of, wants to do it. The key is, where's it applicable to me? What's a use case that I can go and say that I can build a proof of concept around this that's, again, going to be a game changer for us internally at how we can process and get access to raw data in our SAP system,
Right.
without eating up bandwidth and time consumption from folks in the IT organization or in the business, your SMEs in the business functional areas.
Right.
So find that use case where it's going to make sense. Start there, crawl, walk, run when it comes to HANA.
And run really fast.
And then you can run really fast, Jeff.
Elliott, thank you very much for coming by. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for the sponsorship as well. We appreciate that.
Excellent. Excellent.
For more videos, check out asugonline.com and also asugnews.com. Thank you for watching.